Welcome everyone to the 2019 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. This is the unlimited model with quite a few additional pieces that we need to discuss here in this model. This car was lent out to me by Courtesy Chrysler for a couple days so I can review it, so all the thanks have to go off to them to make this video possible. But this is just such an exciting experience, being able to properly experience a Wrangler. I have just tested out the Jeep Gladiator, despite there not being a Jeep truck for 25 years, and that was my first experience with this platform. So a lot of this stuff here is very familiar to me, but of course there's still a few things that need to be discussed. So at the end of this video, I'll place the Wrangler in my ranking system against other compact crossovers, but we all know that when it comes to placing Wranglers against the other compact competition, even something like Jeep's Cherokee, it's quite a different conversation, so let's discuss that when we get to the end of the video. For the JL generation, one of the greatest focuses with the new Wrangler was to reduce the noise, vibration and harshness, NVH, and try and make it an easier vehicle to live with. And as someone that's been in quite a few Wranglers in the past, I can very confidently say it's much quieter in here. It feels like there's more rubber in between sections of metal. Doesn't feel like anything is clinking or rubbing up against each other. The new JL is longer and lighter than the car it replaces. 2.5 inches longer for the two-door version and 3.5 inches longer for the four-door unlimited version. When you look at the JL, you would think there really is no difference between the new car and the old one. There's a couple slight indicators like the larger headlights that cut into the grille, the horizontal sections on the fender for your indicators. It isn't until you get a new car and an old car side by side that you will really seriously see the differences between the two models. This one, the bonnet's a lot higher and rounder, the windshield is less upright. It doesn't look like every component of this car was designed with a 90-degree angle in mind. It looks smoother, it looks calmer. So this Wrangler I'm driving, it's the Unlimited Sahara with the 3.6 litre naturally aspirated Pentastar V6. It has 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. Of course, it has the selectable four-wheel drive system. The Wrangler now is also available with the automatic four-wheel drive system, where you wouldn't have to worry about this stick here at all. Instead, when the computer senses that the front wheels or the rear wheels are slipping and need that additional grip, it'll engage the front drive shaft, and so that you can get more power to the front wheels. For 2019, you can have that 3.6 litre with the 6-speed manual or the 8-speed automatic transmission, of which you see in this car. There's also the 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that has the mild hybrid e-torque system. Haven't been able to test out that one yet, so I'm not going to comment on it, but there is, for 2020, apparently a diesel engine coming along and a plug-in hybrid version of the Wrangler as well. And then to quickly get one of the most noticeable aspects of this Wrangler out of the way is this wheel and tire package. This is a dealership add-on that Courtesy Chrysler is currently offering. It's a 17-inch rim with a 35-inch tire, but we also have a 2-inch lift with Fox shock absorbers. Now, one of the most exciting things about this is, in the past, if you went out to tune your Wrangler, you put a lift kit on it, you put some aftermarket tires on it, you would come across the sticky situation of potentially voiding your warranty. But this is a Mopar accessory. This is something that the dealership has installed themselves, so you aren't voiding any warranty claims at all, and all of these components have the same warranty length as well. So I think we can all rejoice in that. Outside of that, we do have a couple more accessories. We've got a different bracket support for the 5th wheel there on the back door, and the clever details that come along with that. No matter the height of your wheel or tire, the brake light adjusts to sit on top of it, and the rear view camera sits inside of the wheel. So that covers it for aftermarket add-ons. to this Sahara, let's talk about some of the standard equipment in this car and then some of the extra options that have been put into this specific vehicle. Standard with the Sahara, you'll get that 3.6 litre engine, the manual transmission, the push button start, keyless entry, the fog lights, a 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the 7-inch screen that's in between your TAC and Speedo. Some of the additional upgrades in this vehicle include the cold weather package, that's the heated front seats and the heated steering wheel, the Uconnect 4C system, so that's your 8.4-inch screen, again with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, remote start, the blind spot monitoring system, and the LED lights in the rear. You can get a full set of LEDs up front, just not on this specific model here. So driving this Jeep, it probably isn't going to be the most accurate representation of a bog standard Jeep. Of course, adding these chunkier wheels really changes a lot of the aspects to the driving dynamics. So it floats around a bit, you're constantly readjusting the wheel. There's a lot of tire roar on the highway. Again, you find yourself moving a lot side to side. All part of the Wrangler's identity. With this V6, I am wanting for a little more power. Maybe the adding on to these tires is the detriment to that. And the 8-speed transmission is fantastic. No issues there. You can shift it manually if you wish by just sliding over. Visibility isn't terrible. Lowering those rear headrests, though, really does help you out. And there's actually an individual pulley that you can tug to lower those down without lowering the seats entirely. This Jeep also has the Freedom hardtop, so I can take off these components, lower the windshield, and have the most open experience that you could really find in a car. Jeep is excellent for that. I would take it all down and show you how to do it, but as this is a brand new vehicle, I'd hate to drop a panel and get it scuffed. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to point you elsewhere to look for videos like that. Much like the Gladiator, I'm really fond of the interior layout in this car. You have the auxiliary switches down below, so you don't have to worry about drilling any holes into the car anywhere. You really can fit a light bar if you want and just tuck the wire into the bonnet, and Jeep has all of that system set up for you. Touching upon the rear seats, sitting behind myself isn't too bad, but my knees are grazing into the back of my seating position. You've got a couple of outlets back there and pockets behind the seats. The seats fold 60-40, and although they fold flat, there isn't a continuously flat floor. Moving back into the trunk, you'll see that when you open up the tailgate, it opens to one side, and the Jeep grille is mirrored into that plastic molding. Here in this Sahara, we have the cloth seats with the manual adjustment. You can go for leather and the electronically adjusting. These seats are perfectly fine. They're heated as well, as I said, with this cold weather package. I would want perhaps a little more thigh support. Cushion just feels a little too short for my height. Outside of that, that's really my only complaint with the interior. USB and USB-C plugins are here in the Wrangler. I think the Ram 1500 was amongst the first vehicles to do it, and with all of the latest FCA products that I've seen, they've gone through the effort to put their USB-Cs. That's a very good sign, showing that they're intentionally trying to future-proof their vehicles. Of course, comparing it to any other compact crossover is kind of pointless. The Jeep is its own vehicle. You can't compare it to a CX-5, their own Cherokee, a RAV4, that kind of stuff, because this body-on-frame vehicle is what SUVs were once like. They weren't based on other car counterpart. They were built to handle the off-road. And that's exactly the point. The Wrangler is an image vehicle. You love the looks of it or you don't. You don't mind the compromise of living with this vehicle, with its slab side, and a vehicle that demands your attention when you're driving down the highway. Adding on to that as well, it doesn't have all the latest safety tech that a lot of other cars do have. But you know what? That's primarily the point of this car. It's an image thing. and now more than ever, the Wrangler is the best it's ever been. This vehicle is all about fun, it's all about image, and if you don't get that, you won't get the Wrangler. You won't like it, you think it's just an ostentatious mess that's difficult to drive and just is lacking so far behind in refinement against much less expensive and much more well-rounded vehicles in this class. But it simply doesn't matter. You buy a Wrangler because you want a Wrangler. You want the ability to do some more off-roading stuff, you want the image of this thing, and you don't mind the sacrifices that come along when owning a vehicle like this. So that's why I think I have to leave the Wrangler as a segment leader. Currently, there aren't many other cars it competes against. You take the purpose and the image behind a Wrangler, add $100,000 to it, and then it turns into a Mercedes G-Wagon. So that car and this car really operate in their own universe outside of the rest of the car market. I've had a lot of fun driving this thing, wish I could have some more time with it, but if you want to test drive this exact vehicle, then head over to Courtesy Chrysler, who again were kind enough to lend this vehicle out to me for a couple days. All of their information is linked down below. Thanks again for watching. Please like the video if you liked it and share it if you think other people will like it too. And of course, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that does the world for me. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon.